Hey, everyone. I am in deep trouble right now and I fear that I might lose my best friend because of the mess. My best friend's boyfriend has been openly flirting and hitting on me for a while, and he recently took things way too far than he should have. I will tell you everything that happened and would appreciate it if you guys could tell me how to go about this situation. Michaela, 26, and I have been best friends since we were 6 years old. Our dads are business partners, and our moms quickly became friends too, joining us on picnics and during playtime. We practically grew up together, sharing everything from our toys to our dreams for the future. We even ended up going to the same college, and our bond only grew stronger over the years. 2 years ago, Michaela met Sean, 26. They instantly hit it off. He was a member of this book club she often went to. I never had a liking for books, so I never joined her to go to the place. She was attracted to Sean from the start. We even discussed about him a lot whenever we usually met, which was almost every day. Honestly, I couldn't blame her. Sean seemed perfect for her, genuine, honest, and completely head over heels for Michaela. He noticed every little thing about her, from the way she liked her coffee to the way she always hummed when she was nervous. Michaela and I had made a deal in our high school days. If either of us got serious about a guy, the other had to approve. So, when Michaela introduced me to Sean, I was ready with my checklist and judgments to see if the guy was worth my best friend's time. But Sean passed with flying colors. I knew in a moment that he would keep my best friend very happy. He was charming and seemed genuinely interested in getting to know me too, probably because he knew how much Michaela valued my opinion. I approved of him without a second thought. They dated happily for about a year and a half, and I was thrilled for Michaela. I saw how they knew each other inside out and completed each other's presence. She seemed happy, and Sean seemed like the perfect boyfriend. Then, about 6 months ago, something changed. Sean started acting differently. It was unnoticeable at first. But, I was quick to see the shift in his emotions. He began to distance himself from Michaela a bit and started interacting more with me. Whenever we met outside, he'd come sit beside me instead of her. He'd pay more attention to what I want to do, eat or drink. Michaela never noticed his behavior. At first, even I thought maybe he was just trying to be a good friend to me as well, since we were all pretty close. But then it started to get weird. He began sending me late night texts. The first time he messaged me post midnight, it was to ask if Michaela would like it if he sent her flowers to the office. What's strange? He already did that before and she was pretty impressed. I did not understand why he wanted to ask me again. However, I did send him a message back and told him to go ahead. Then, the nature of the messages changed. He started initiating conversations that did not concern Michaela. He also started sharing reels with me on Instagram that are meant for couples. For example, he sent me a reel where it said that my zodiac sign and his zodiac sign are very compatible and will prove to be the best lovers. If that is not stupid, I don't know what else is. I totally stopped seeing his forward messages and reels. Slowly, he'd compliment my appearance, tell me how much he enjoyed spending time with me, and even make comments about how I was different from Michaela in ways that made me uncomfortable. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe he was just being friendly and I was overreacting. Then, one night at a party, he made me really angry. Michaela had gone to the bathroom, and Sean came over to me. He put his arm around me, much closer than what I'd consider friendly, and whispered in my ear, telling me how beautiful I looked and how he couldn't stop thinking about me. I pulled away, laughing it off awkwardly, but inside I was freaking out. I wanted to punch him in the face but smiled to hold my legs in place and not do anything idiotic. I didn't know what to do, so I left them and joined my other friends. I still remember how his eyes traveled across my body and he was not even drunk. None of us touched a drop of alcohol by then. I stayed away from them for the whole evening. While he danced with Michaela, he'd secretly look at me, wink sometimes, and that's when I told Michaela that my mom needed some help at home, so I was leaving early. The next day, I received an expensive necklace in the mail with a note from Sean, saying it was our little secret. It made no sense to me. Why should we have any secrets at all? He never gifted Michaela something as expensive as the jewel he sent me. It's not right to take it from him. I gave it back and he didn't seem very happy. I also knew I couldn't keep this strange behavior of Sean hidden from Michaela any longer. It was making me feel guilty. But, I also didn't want to hurt her. She was my best friend, and I knew how much she loved Sean. I decided to confront Sean first. I told him his behavior was inappropriate and he needed to stop whatever he was doing immediately. He apologized and blamed his changed manner on stress and said he didn't mean to make me uncomfortable. He promised he would never do anything like that again. But things didn't get better. Sean kept finding ways to be alone with me, and his advances became more frequent. I would have kept quiet and stayed out of their way if not for that night when Sean crossed the line. Sean has a best friend named Kevin, 27. They both played basketball together. For a while now, I had feelings for Kevin. He is the kind of guy I would like to have as my partner. I think it's an open secret among us three that I wanted to date Kevin. It's just that I did not gather to admit our feelings. It was Kevin's birthday last week and he invited us to a house party at his place. And let me tell you, Kevin's parties are usually bold and loud. He is rich and has all the resources to make the night memorable. Michaela suggested that I confess my feelings to him that night. So, we girls decided to go shopping for some cool outfits. When we were hopping from one shop to another, Michaela received a call from Sean. He wanted to join us. I was quick to say no. I wanted it to be a girls only day. Lately, Sean was joining us everywhere and we hardly got any time to do some girl gossip. But Michaela requested that I let it go for just this one time. I agreed for the sake of my best friend. Sean did not talk to me much and stuck to Michaela. I was glad that he was not disturbing me. How wrong I was. When we went to this pretty shop that was selling cocktail dresses, I noticed that Sean was looking at me continuously. I guess I even saw him click a few pictures of me in the clothes I was trying on. I cannot say for sure though. That is why I did not confront him on the day either. We went back home after that and decided to meet the next day at Kevin's house. Sean offered that he would pick us both up, but I refused. I knew he'd come for me first and I didn't want to travel with him alone, even if it was for 10 minutes. I took a taxi to Kevin's place. Well, it was the best night of my life. I managed to down some drinks and told Kevin how I felt about him. And he also felt the same about me. We kissed. It was fun until Sean decided to ruin it for me. I was buzzed and my head was swimming. But, not so much that I wouldn't understand what was happening around me. Sean came to me laughing. He said he wanted to show me something that Kevin has. For once, he looked like the old Sean who joked around with me like a friend. So, I went with him. We went to Kevin's room and he showed me this huge magazine collection that Kevin had. I was laughing on top of my lungs because all those magazines were very funny. Nobody would want to be caught with those in their friend circle. We were joking and saying stuff when suddenly Sean nudged me on my shoulder and I tripped and fell on the bed. Hey! I wasn't even that drunk. It was completely intentional. He pushed me way too hard. When he took one step towards me, I knew what his intentions were. I quickly got up and slapped him across his face. I kept my temper in check for so long, but how could I keep calm when it was clear what he was about to do? I exited the room and went straight to Kevin. I told him something important came up and I must leave. He understood that I was angry and promised to call me later. I also gave Michaela a short goodbye and left. I was planning to talk to Sean the next day and give him a serious warning to not mess with me. But Sean called me that night. I avoided his calls, but he kept disturbing me. I wanted to shut down my phone but didn't do so because if someone else called for an emergency, I wanted to be available. I finally answered and snapped at him. I thought he'd apologize, but he said that I purposefully dropped on the bed and let him on, gave him a sign that he can come toward me. He told me that if I opened my mouth in front of Michaela, he'd tell her that I always wanted him in bed with me. I was shocked. I never let him on. I never wanted him, not even in my nightmares. As promised, Kevin called me the next day and I told him what happened in the party. He didn't seem surprised. He said that Sean was always talking him out of confessing his feelings to me. He went so far as to say that I might not be interested in men. I was shocked to know how he was desperate to keep Kevin as far away from me as possible. It's been 5 days since the incident and I avoided meeting Sean or Michaela during this time. I am very confused about what I should be doing. I really want to tell my best friend about her boyfriend. That I made the mistake of approving him in the first place. But, I also saw how much Michaela loved Sean. She even mentioned to me that one day, if all goes well, she'd want to be the mother of his children. If I told her how Sean was eyeing me inappropriately, would she trust me or him? What if he tries to make me the villain and Michaela falls for it? She has known me for long, but I have seen relationships fall apart because of such differences. Kevin wants me to tell Michaela about whatever happened. Even I know that telling her is the right thing to do. She deserves someone better, someone who is more loyal to her. But, I am also scared that this will ruin our friendship. Even if she supports me and not Sean, she might not be the same person to me. I don't know what to do, everyone. If you've been in a similar situation before or if you think you can help me with the right decision, please let me know. I am very stressed. I am not even able to concentrate on my work or eat properly. Mainly, I do not want to lose Michaela and her friendship. What should I do now? Should I tell her that her boyfriend is a jerk? Update 1. Thank you so much for your suggestions. Believe me, I read each one of them and I find all of them equally useful. It's been a month since I left the post on Reddit. So much happened during that time and I thought I'll leave an update to let you guys know about the status of things. I finally told Michaela about Sean. This did not happen overnight though. Even after most of you suggested that I tell her about her boyfriend right away, I waited. I was very scared. Remember how I told you that Kevin and Sean played basketball together? As usual, they joined other guys and went to the ground. Kevin stopped talking to Sean after the incident on his birthday. We started dating and no man wants to be nice to a guy who insults his girl now, right? So, while playing, Sean started taunting and making Kevin angry. He said a lot of things, about his mom, me and his sister. Kevin kept his cool. But things went out of control when Sean purposefully tripped Kevin and he hurt his left leg real bad. He was immediately rushed to the hospital because the other people thought it might be a fracture. One of the guys called me and said that Kevin hurt himself. When I got to the hospital, he also told me how Sean was trying to get on Kevin's nerves and intentionally came in Kevin's way while he was passing the ball. I spoke to Kevin and he also told me that whatever happened was no accident. I was patiently waiting all this time, thinking about my best friend's feelings. But if things were turning violent, it was high time that she knew the truth. I called Michaela and asked her to meet me at our usual cafe. She was very happy when she walked in the door and I felt guilty that the things I was going to tell her will rip that smile off of her face. That is why I hesitated for the first few minutes. But I remembered how Kevin looked on that hospital bed. I told her everything. I showed her the texts, the necklace, and recounted every uncomfortable encounter. She was devastated. But Michaela wasted no time and called Sean to join us. She confronted Sean. He denied everything at first, but when she showed him the evidence, he couldn't keep up his act any longer. I thought he'd cry and say sorry. But he stood up and started insulting Michaela. He said that she was not as pretty as me. He went so far as to say that she must feel blessed that someone as handsome as him was even entertaining her. I tried to interrupt, but he held my hand and began pleading with me. He said he loved me and his feelings were genuine. He'd always be by my side and there is nothing in this world that he'd want more. I felt disgusted. He insulted my best friend, broke her heart, almost cheated on her, and now he was telling me how we'd be perfect together. I shoved him away and rejected his proposal. I told him how much I hated him and that I didn't want to see him again. Michaela and Sean broke up in the cafe that day. That stupid person was not even ashamed of what he did. He was more worried about my rejection than the breakup. I took my best friend away from that place. Michaela hasn't spoken to him since. But, as I initially thought, our friendship has been going through a very tough time ever since. Michaela wouldn't talk to me like before. She hardly says anything to me. We don't meet that often. When I asked her if she was angry with me, she said she didn't blame me, but I could tell things weren't the same. She's hurt, and I feel responsible. I reach out to her every day, but she talks to me like she talks to everyone else. The spark that we had in our friendship is gone. I don't know how to get it back or if I will ever get it back. Should I have kept my mouth shut? Update 2. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. I noticed that it has been 3 months since my last update. I am so sorry. I was planning to reply to your comments sooner but did not find the time. Thanks for all your concern and well wishes. Let me not waste time and tell you that Michaela and I are doing really well. Our differences are now sorted. But I won't say that everything is back to normal. We have new headaches to deal with. Let me start from the beginning. Even after a month of the breakup, Michaela remained sad and distant. Our conversations were small and awkward. It was like there was this big elephant in the room that neither of us wanted to talk about. I could see the hurt in her eyes, and it killed me that I was part of the reason she felt that way. One day, Kevin suggested that we see a counselor. At first, I said no. I thought we could handle it ourselves, and I didn't want to drag a stranger into our personal issues. But Kevin said that a professional would be able to guide us better and he really believed it could help, so I eventually agreed. We started seeing a counselor, and Kevin was right. It was better than staring at nothing and saying 2 words to each other every 5 minutes, just to fill that awkward silence. I learned a lot about what Michaela was feeling. She blamed herself for what happened with Sean. She thought I was so hurt and couldn't even reach out to my best friend because she was too busy with her boyfriend. Michaela felt like she wasn't a good friend. In one of our sessions, I told Michaela otherwise. I told her she was the best friend anyone could ask for. I was worried she would blame me for everything and break our friendship, but she surprised me. Michaela respected our bond more than her romantic relationship. She placed her trust in me, and that meant everything. Our counseling sessions were very emotional, but they were worth our time. We cried a lot, but we also talked a lot. It felt like we were breaking down walls that had built up between us. Michaela told me she wants to take a break from dating, and I completely understand. She needs time to heal, and I'm here for her. On a brighter note, Kevin and I are going strong. He's been such a rock for me through all of this. We've been doing cute things together, like having picnic dates in the park, cooking dinner together, and watching movies. He even surprised me with a handmade scrapbook filled with photos and little notes about our time together so far. It's been amazing. But the trouble is with Sean. He won't leave me alone. He calls me multiple times a day from different numbers. I've had to change my number twice already. He shows up at my workplace, and it's so embarrassing. My coworkers are starting to notice, and it's making my job difficult. Sean also sends flowers to my house with creepy notes attached. I've blocked him on all social media, but he keeps finding ways to contact me through new accounts and emails. One day, I found a postcard in my mailbox with no return address. It was from Sean, saying he missed me and wanted to talk. That was the final straw. I decided I couldn't take it anymore and started looking into legal options. I'm planning to file a restraining order and a cyber harassment complaint this week. I've been collecting all the messages, emails, and evidence of his harassment to present to the authorities. The stress from Sean's behavior has been affecting my mental health, but I'm determined not to let him control my life. Kevin has been incredibly supportive, helping me document everything and even coming with me to the police station to file the report. Michaela has been supportive too. Even though she's dealing with her own pain, she's been there for me. We've had many heart-to-heart talks, and our friendship is stronger than ever. We've made a pact to always communicate openly and never let anything or anyone come between us again. So, that's where I am right now. I'm focusing on my relationship with Kevin, rebuilding my friendship with Michaela, and taking steps to protect myself from Sean. It's been a tough journey, but I'm hopeful that things will get better. I know I have a long road ahead and I will come back with an update soon. Update 3. I wanted to give you all an update on what's been happening since my last post. A lot has changed, and thankfully, things are looking up. First off, Sean is finally out of my life. After I filed the restraining order and the cyber harassment complaint, he found out about it. He came to me, begging me to take it back. He said he was sorry and that he didn't mean to scare me. But I refused. I told him that's not how it works and that his behavior was unacceptable. I made it clear that if he continued to trouble me, I would have to take even more strict measures. We had a huge argument. Sean kept insisting that he loved me, but I wasn't hearing any of it. I stood my ground and told him that his idea of love was toxic and harmful. He left, still trying to convince me that he cared about me, but I was done listening. That was the last I heard from him. A few weeks later, some guys from the basketball group told Kevin that Sean had started seeing another girl. I also heard that they are really bad company and everyone is avoiding them. Apparently, the girl he's with now is rude and violent. I felt a strange mix of relief and pity. Relief because Sean was finally out of my life, and pity because he was dragging someone else into his mess. But honestly, I didn't want to know anything more about him. He was no longer my problem, and I needed to move on. In better news, Michaela has been doing amazingly well. She started her own boutique, something she's always dreamed of. It's a small shop, but it's beautiful and perfectly reflects her style and personality. She's really found her passion, and I couldn't be prouder of her. As for me, things at my workplace have been great. I've been getting more responsibilities and positive feedback from my boss. It feels good to be recognized for my hard work. I've been focusing on my career and personal growth, and it's paying off. Kevin, my wonderful boyfriend, has started his own real estate business. It's been a learning curve for him, but he's doing great. Reflecting on everything that's happened, I'm grateful for the support I received from you all. It wasn't easy to deal with Sean and the fallout from his actions, but knowing I had a community that understood and supported me made a huge difference. Your advice and encouragement helped me stay strong and do what I needed to protect myself. Thank you so much once again. Cheers.